This is the Daily Mail, the 21st of August. It's a few days old, by Christine McCashin. House prices are rising by almost 5 times the rate of inflation. Well, folks, the rate of inflation is only half what's reported. They're lying to us about that. But still, that's still 2.5 times. Property inflation is running 7.8% compared to the general inflation rate of 1.7% across the rest of the economy. That's a lie. The inflation rate is at least 3%. You can see it all around. I put out lime, I think it was back about 2000, and it was just before the pandemic, about 2007, 18, and it was £23 a tonne, €23 a tonne, €23 a tonne. It's now 31 spread. So 23 to 31, that's less than 10 years. So work that out. The medium or midpoint agreed sale price is 370,000. See, the inflation is eaten into the prices as well. With the country's most expensive air code located in Blackrock, Dublin. Now, don't forget, the most expensive place in Ireland is €780,000 for a house. And that place is beside the sea. It's beside the sea so that the waves come in at high tide when there's a spring tide. And yet the prices are going up. Why are people paying all that money for a house in Blackrock when it's going to be submerged? Because the climate change sea level rise is an outrageous lie. L-I-E. For the cheapest air-code buyers would have to go to Castlereagh, County Roscommon, where the median price is 148,000 in Castlereagh in Roscommon. The figures come from the Central Statistics Office latest residential property price index published yesterday. For county council areas, the highest median sale price was in Dunleary, Rathdown, again another place that's supposed to be under the sea in a few years' time. Yet a house is 675,000. Dunleary Rathdown County Council includes Blackrock and other expensive South Dublin neighbourhoods, all awaiting flooding. What a whopper! What a whopper! The lowest medium sale price per county council was Leitrim at 190,000. It was Leitrim at 190,000. That was the lowest medium sale price. The biggest price increase was in the west, which includes Galway, Mayo and Roscommon, where property prices rose 10.3%. Now, even though it's still the cheapest, they still went up 10.3%. But what has money declined? That's the question. I'll explain inflation to you another day when I'm at my academic studio. This is my home kitchen table place, but my studio is more academic, more reference books. I have 3 books there. I'll tell you. House prices in the capital rose 6.6% in the rest of the country by 8.8%. They're going up slightly more in the country because there's nowhere to get places. Everything's gone to migrants. Everything. Give everything to them. And don't forget, the government is buying houses that people can't buy to put migrants into. And the number of homes sold in June was 4,029. That's June 2025, up 13% from 3,563 that sold in June last year. So it went up from 3.5k to 4k. But then what's the value of the money? Experts put strong price rises down to the lack of supply overall. Bonkers Ireland's chief executive, Donald McGovern, said, now, I didn't take him on. I did take on that other guy, Declan something or other, who I challenged and he never got back to me. But anyway, Bonkers does a bit of research, so I wouldn't rubbish everything to say. I mean, doesn't mean that everything they say is wrong. It will take comprehensive and very unprecedented measures to unlock the impediments. Well, they can't build a children's hospital. All they can build is wind farms and solar farms and put them on your bill as an extra on your bill. That's all they're good for. Particularly in zoning, planning and infrastructure. Well, they want to start by complying with the law and the SCA directive, and they won't do that. Pointing to the latest ESRI data forecast, ESRI, Economic and Social Research Institute, I think that could be changed. I'm going to think of a new name for the ESRI will not do it now. Data forecast of just 33,000 new homes this year and 37 2026. That's the projection. She added, even with unprecedented measures, it's unlikely to be a couple of years. It's likely to be a couple of years before we see major change. So you see, there's going to be a shortage of houses, which means it's great comfort for Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin mainly. They get more votes, whack the paddy, put them in the basement, and they'll come crawling out of the basement on their parents' homes up to vote for Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin, and an odd one then will give a number 2 to one of the new independents who are just stalking horses for the main parties, collect the votes like the ones that got in the last time, and 8 of them back to government without question. Without question. So, if you don't get them one way, you don't get them by need, you'll get them by greed. High prices mean people are taking on levels of mortgage debt, she warned. Are taking on levels. High price mean people are taking on larger levels of mortgage debt, and this is more debt. She warned, adding that although people on high incomes can sustain that, the reality is that for a decade housing policy has sadly failed those on average incomes who should be able to aspire to home ownership. Yeah, we see the problem is that people on average income, the ordinary working class people, will not change their vote. No way. No way. No way. And their children will do the same. It's the same in America. You get a Democrat-run state like California, they're running into the ground. You can't walk up the street with human excrement. And they get out. I can't live here anymore. And they head off over to somewhere else like Texas, and they vote Democrat when they get there. Right. Irish mortgage advisor Chair Trevor Grant said rising prices are a disappointment for hopeful homeowners. They are. They are. That's the truth. They're a disappointment. But not enough of a disappointment to make them vote for Conservative parties. Not enough. No. It means houses are becoming more unaffordable for many, turning hopes of home ownership into pipe dreams, she said. The biggest driver of house price inflation is the shortage of homes coupled with pent-up demand for housing and an expanding population. Migrants is the expanding population, not the Irish that are expanding. There are a few babies around. I see an odd pram being pushed, and I'm glad to see that. So then, another little piece here on the same paper. It's only 7 minutes. Large landlords are dominating the market for new housing. So a person goes in to buy a house and to discover a lad with maybe 70 houses buys the house. And they contribute to Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin and Labour behind the scenes, and they're able to finance them and get the mugs that have nothing to vote for them. This is one of the biggest mysteries. Now, I did a video there on the two-slit experiment, a scientific video, and I tried to explain that this is a mystery. Nobody knows the answer to this. Oh, one lad there, it's the measures and equipment. Yeah, you haven't done things out right. There's a screw there. If you would get that screw and give it a bit of an adjustment, that was his contribution. See, you can't do anything with Paddy. Sinn Féin has claimed, right, the larger landlords are dominating the market, Sinn Féin has claimed. The party's finance spokesman, Pierce Doherty, he's of the Sharia law Irish party. They're full-belted bringing in Sharia law into Ireland. Muslim Sharia law. That's what they want, right? Pierce Doherty said half of all private homes for sale in the state were bought by landlords with multiple properties. That could be right. He might have that right. I mean, he is in government. He is up there on the dole. Now, there you are. Nothing be done. With 75% of all homes in Dublin bought by landlords with more than 10 properties. Now, I don't know is that true. But if you're not shocked, you should be shocked. Isn't that some corruption? Isn't it some corruption when the main political parties have, with the assistance of the independents, have managed to bring about a situation where 3/4 of all houses in Dublin are bought by people with more than 10 homes? I'm a great how Fianna Fáil, man. Give me that pen there. And then they come out and they say to me then, And you know, the country's not run right. And for years I'd say, you know, it's not. Now I say, who are you after marking for? I got a lad from West Monaghan to vote for me. He never voted in his life. He was illiterate. And when he went in, he marked number 2 for Niamh Smith. Did he hear much moves out of her? Huh? Niamh Smith? Oh, shit. Bought by landlords with more than 10 properties. The party's analysis of local property tax figures show, yeah, they've carried out an analysis. I'd respect that to a degree. I'd say that's probably true. Local property tax figures shows Dublin is an epicentre of the crisis. Yeah, you see, the property tax probably has to put down, payer has to put down how many houses he has. I'd say that's the case. Mr. Doherty said workers and families are being sold out to the landlords at an alarming scale by the government. That's true. The problem is he is at it too, and he's going to do it when he gets in. You vote for that fella. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael have engineered a situation where the housing system is rigged. Will Fine Gael, sorry, I get mixed up. Will Sinn Féin, SINN, will they meet me? Come on there, Mary Lou and Pierce Doherty or whoever you are. Why not just meet me? I met a lot of them when they thought they were dealing with an idiot. They won't meet me now. They're in on the scam. Is rigged against individuals in favour of large landlords. This is echoed by CSO figures that show house prices are spiralling out of control as landlords dominate the market. You think that couldn't be fixed? You think Donald Trump wouldn't fix that? You think it couldn't be fixed? Once they get buy-in for the migrants, they don't care. A staggering 79% of private homes in Dublin are being hoovered up by landlords. Oh, what do you call her? Ivana Bajcik. Oh, she's going to sort it. Did you ever hear them talking about it? When did you? I know that at least with Pierce Doherty, there is a wee speak out of him. There's that. I have to give that. Niamh Smith, Brendan Smith. Thomas Byrne. Not a dicky bird. Why is that, I wonder? So 79% of homes in Dublin are being hoovered up by landlords, 75% by large landlords. Party leader Mary Lou McDonald added, think about what it means for workers and families left fighting for the scraps. Well, that's true. Let's be honest about it. That's the situation. We are just under an attack of a different nature than we were. We were always attacked in Ireland by somebody trying to scam us off. Now, while those Sinn Féin figures, a staggering 79% of private homes in Dublin were hoovered up by landlords, how many of those landlords are the Irish taxpayers through the state? How many of them are actually bought by the state? 60 million for City West Hotel. We'd like to have those figures. But folks, isn't that an outrageous scandal? And on that issue, Sinn Féin seems to be doing something. But that doesn't matter. They have it rigged. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael has it rigged that when we cop them and when the farmer with cows comes along and exposes them for the criminal crooks they are, they get independence like that one that's the Can Corla, Verona Murphy, Lowry, the Healy Rays, and several more to back them up without ever a question, not a word out of them. So the secret here is that as I personally am successful in pulling the vote away from Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and warning people about Sinn Féin, the Sharia law party, the Muslim party, warning them, we have a sneaky crowd coming up on the inside who are really Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. And they're getting elected, and there's a big clap of it's gone to an independent, when in fact they're not independents at all. It's very, very sad. I'm good at exposing this sort of stuff along with many others. Comment underneath, and don't forget, I'm willing to meet anybody. They won't meet me. We're being sold out every possible angle that there is. How are people to get jobs in Dublin? How are service people, nurses and that to get houses? They can't. This is the sellout and the treachery and the traitors, which is the European Union and the Irish political parties, every one of them. And there are some people who will vote Sinn Féin because of that kind of a thing. Pierce Doherty is relatively intelligent. I will grant him that. He is relatively intelligent. He should meet me. But he's still not honest. There's still this agenda of that Ireland is for everyone except the Irish. That's still there. Brits out, peace. Brits out, peace in. Brits out, everyone else in. This is their philosophy. We're beaten everywhere. But the people got their opportunity in the last election and they did not vote. They did not vote in any significant numbers for the party that I stood with, which was the Irish Freedom Party. People of Cavan, people of Monaghan, people of Meath, people of Limerick, people of down in other parts of the country and in Dublin. They voted for criminals, people with criminal records, before they'd vote for us. That's the harsh reality. We'll see you back, folks. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Comment underneath.